Welcome to 10-Minute Trade Hacks, a quick hit series from the Blue Collar Future podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Robison, and in under 10 minutes, I'll give you one simple practical hack to level up in your trade. Let's get into it. So, today's problem: too many tools weighing you down and slowing you down. Solution: 3-tool rule. Simplify your everyday carry. Buy 3 core tools you use 90% of the day. For me, I've noticed there's multiple different projects that I do at work. So, if we're pouring concrete, and depending on what concrete we're pouring, say we're pouring exterior, driveways, patios, that type of stuff, or we're pouring interior floors, we may be pouring less or more. If we're pouring a lot of stairs, there's different things that I need. Say we're pouring a set of stairs, I always need to be having my float, my edger, tape measure, and a hammer with me at all times. That's fairly consistent across other jobs. If we're pouring concrete, I need to be having a mag trowel edger with me and a tape measure, and use those basically the whole day that we're pouring. If we're forming up stuff, it also depends on the project. So it depends on if we're getting, a basement ready. It depends on if we're getting a set of stairs ready. So identifying the 3 tools that you use 90% of the day and keep them close to you at all times. Now, I have a lot of different tools, and I have a lot of tools that I also need to use throughout the day. This helps me keep track of the ones that are important, and it stops me from losing tape measures, and it stops me from losing my tools that I'm going to be using constantly. But lately, what I've been doing is, for my concrete finishing tools, I have a bag that has all of my other tools in it. So I have also even more tools than just, my mag trowel edger, because a lot of times we'll have a handler, a lot of times we'll have hand brushes, chisels, and I have wire brushes for cleaning stuff off, and I have rags, and I have extra sets of mags and trowels for different situations. I have a short trowel for stairs. I have a lot of different tools that I keep, but I don't use them all the time. I have, 4 or 5 tools, whatever, 3 tools, realistically, that I use all the time. And if you lose one of them, that obviously doesn't help anybody. A lot of people, misplace their tools all the time because they don't keep them near them. And keeping the tools you use 90% of your day near you at all times, knowing where they are, will help you to be more efficient and help you to stay on top of that. But also will help you to not lose them. We have a lot of guys that end up losing tools on the job because they just don't kind of keep track of them. And then if you have a separate set of tools in a bag nearby, that will help as well. For like our framing projects, when we're doing, our concrete carpentry and stuff, I have a nail bag that has all my stuff in it, and I have toolboxes that have all my tools in them. So I have a lot of power tools. I have a lot of Makita power tools because, Makita is the best. But I keep those all in the toolboxes, essentially, and one that I use on the regular, like I'll have my nail bag and my sledgehammer and a level and a saw is what I usually use very regularly, and those are all kept on me. And if I need a specific tool that I don't use all the time, but I'm going to use for a certain project, I keep it in my nail bag, and I have extra space in my nail bag for that, and so I can kind of compartmentalize things, but keep those all kind of together. And the ones I use very regularly are with me at all times. The rest of them kind of in a pile, but also nearby. With all of the different power tools I have, a lot of times I end up having impact drivers, I have hammer drills out, I have angle grinders out, I'll have saw roller out, I'll get, I have a lot of different battery powered tools. I'll have a different skill saw out, like a 6.5 inch instead of a 7.25, just because it's nice to have a mix up of different tools, and I'll have them in different places for different uses. I have a big dual battery, a 36 volt saw that I use for a lot of bulk cutting, and I have a little 6.5 inch 18 volt saw that I use for a lot of stuff because it's really nice and it's light. It's easy to carry around. But I still keep the ones I use on the regular near me, and the other ones are kind of together in a different spot. or they're like on the job, but they're also like kind of separated. Just the ones that I really need to use very quickly are right next to me. So this is gonna change by trade. For example, if you're a carpenter, you know, tape, speed, square, pencil. A lot of concrete guys carry a trowel, a margin trowel, tape measure, magnesium float around. Magnesium float and a tape measure is really the most common for people to use. Just store them in a consistent spot and place that you can just grab them right when you need them. One thing I see a lot of concrete guys do is they put a hook on their belt so they can put their floats there. We don't do that. I don't really do that. I have done it before, and I probably will at some point. I just haven't found one that I like, but that is in keeping with this idea of keeping them in a place that you can get to them quick. So that wraps up this episode. Less clutter, more flow. That's today's trade hack. Put it to work and see the difference on your next job. For more tips, tune in every week right here on the Blue Collar Future Podcast. Until next time, keep building your future.